button over here.
What are we
Let me
saying?
go back to this button over here. I guess I should pull up the screen.
Beside
Slade and file
the
new.
dark.
Is this the one? It is the one.
I always
This
hated
button,
that song.
60,
go.
59.
Hey, it's
58,
working. A countdown to the
57,
Slade and Mason
56,
show.
55.
No, I'm sorry. It's not.
This continues to be a
Oh, wrong
countdown
button.
to the Slade and Mason show. 50, 49.
Who's
40,
leading
you're
this
listening
year?
to the
Yes,
countdown to the
46,
Slade and Mason 45, 44.
Have another sip of my
43,
beer.
42, countdown. 47, Mason show.
It's gonna be a good morning.
38, right now. 37, you're listening to the countdown. 35, Slade and 34, 33.
That's all right. You know, it's 5 a.m. work wonders.
29, Mason show. 28, 27.
Makes it hard to get dressed, but
it's the Slade and Mason show. 23, 22. We continue.
These
now
socks
to the
don't
countdown
match,
to
but
the
I
Slade
don't
and
care.
Mason show. 18, 17.
Stand by.
16. As we are now
15.
delivering the
Stand by.
countdown.
You hear how
to the
serious
Slade
he
and
is?
Mason Show. 12.
Stand by.
11.
Wait, deliver to you?
10. This is our countdown.
Slade and
to the
Mason Show.
Slade and Mason 7.
Oh, we have so much to talk about.
Ready? 4. Here we go. 3, 2,
Whoa.
1.
Now broadcasting from the Dan Mason Studios, deep in the heart of Virginia.
Texas.
It's the Slade and Mason Show.
Monday, Monday.
I hate that day.
Every other day.
Hey,
Every
Hi,
other
I'm
day,
James
every
Slade.
other day. I'm Dan Mason.
And this is the Slade and Mason Show.
Every other day.
Hey.
All the week is fine. All of the time.
You know, it's like I realized something yesterday while I was watching something. Do you know what has become a dead art?
Communication. What?
No, tap dancing.
Yeah.
Can't find people who are like Gregory Hines tap dancing. It's like, and what brought that up is I was watching The Family Guy,
Mhm.
and there was a scene that they had Stewie dancing in the role that Jerry Mouse had with Gene Kelly back in 1943. It's like, you know, and I realized you don't see anybody tap dancing anymore.
Nope. That's because Gene Kelly's dead. Okay, so this is the Slade and Mason Show. It's all about you and us. It's like a radio program where we share with you news stories and things we see throughout the week. It's our take on it. We're basically saying things you're thinking. Shut up. But we never hear on the radio. We're just having fun. Don't take it too seriously. Just enjoy. All the music is brought to you by Dano Music. Dano Music because we are cheap SOBs. Don't forget to check out our Instagram page, which I posted back in 2016. Don't forget to tell your friends, neighborhood, cops, people you see in the street that you listen to the Slade and Mason Show for reasons you cannot explain. Also, as always, we are brought to you by Icy Southern Icy Treats. We'll talk about that after the break. So, Mr. Slade.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Mason.
Welcome
and
back to the Slade and
Happy
Mason Show.
New
Happy New Year, Merry Christmas,
all that kind of stuff.
Happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and
Yes, sir. and
Hanukkah.
I guess that's all of them, right? Isn't it? Yeah, Kwanzaa. We're in
when
the
is
midst-
it? When is Eid?
What?
When is Eid?
Eid what?
Eid, the Muslim holiday. Let's see.
How the
Eid.
hell do you think I know what a Muslim holiday is? Man? What's wrong with you? Don't start 2021 with me. I'm telling you, I'm in weird form.
Oh, we missed it. It was May 23rd and May 24th.
No, you're just ahead of the
Dang
calendar.
it. I forgot. No, let's see. It's May 12th and May 13th this year. So mark your calendars. Wednesday.
Hey, you know what? It's like, that's the other thing. I took down my 2020 calendars. And it's like, I don't have any calendars, so I got to go get some.
Oh, man.
Do you remember when it was like every business just gave you calendars?
Oh, yeah. I was talking about that the other day. There was a recipe for a cardamom orange wafer, lace cookie. It was from the Dells Village Pharmacy.
Did you say laced cookie? Laced cookie?
Lace, not laced with a D. Lace like a doily.
Okay.
Get your mind out of your bowl. Okay, so So anyway, yeah, they used to give calendars away, and on the back were recipes a lot of times. So yes, I do remember.
They would give you calendars. You didn't have to buy calendars. Now you got to buy these stupid calendars with all these cats all over them. I mean, it's like, cats and dogs and waterfalls.
No,
and the changing of the seasons. It's things like that. Man, I don't need to see all that because it's not what I'm looking at a calendar for.
No.
I want to know what
we do the Bob Ross ones. So we have Bob Ross calendars over here.
The toilet paper clouds.
Yeah. Happy little mistakes. Oh, we'll just make that a bird. In a volcano?
All right, Mr. Mason. It's like, we got to start the program. First off, of course, we were gone for a couple of weeks. Again. So I have to ask you, how was your Christmas?
It was fine. So, and
she quickly wants to change that. Well, was Santa good to you?
Santa was awesome, and he was awesome for the kids. And
okay, and on the ledger sheet.
Well, we'll just say that $600 check came in awfully handy.
Oh, rent.
Sorry, guys, inside joke.
Okay,
so you mentioned 120-inch TV screen. Santa had purchased for the family and mind you, when I was first looking at these things, because I was going to, and long story, these things were mucking expensive. Picked up a projector, a TV projector, so you can actually project a show, a program, whatever you're watching, up on your wall, your screen.
Now,
whatever.
It's not bad enough to have to be able to see it in the box. Now you can put garbage on your walls.
That's right, baby. Yeah. So you can have the screen as big as you want. And a lot of people, it's funny, I started seeing these in the neighborhood, and I'm like, what is going on here? Because they're showing them outdoors on these huge screens. And I'm thinking, what the heck? Where are these people getting these projectors from? These are like $1,900 for crying out loud. And I hop onto the ever-widening world of Amazon. And there they had one for, I don't know, it was like $60 or something like that.
Oh, my.
And it had like 10,000 positive ratings. I'm like, what the heck? Because now it's not, you don't have these projector bulbs with an liquid crystal display projection. It's an LED bulb projecting. So instead of having like a life expectancy of, 400 or 500 hours, this has a 55,000 hour projected lifetime. So it's like 10 years or something ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long that lasts.
Oh, I know.
But of course, so now you can project, you can have your 101-inch screen in your house.
120-inch. It can go up to where we're gonna put it on the back wall, and we found out it goes. I mean, we're talking wall to wall. This thing is holy Guadalcanal, Batman. So, and the screens are cheap too.
I hear so many people talking about buying things from Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting close to wanting to make that decision about my desktop,
Mm-hmm.
and I might have to go to Amazon and see what they've got.
Well, I did not go shopping this year. I did everything online for safety purposes.
Yeah, well, that way you don't have Corona. It's like,
that's right, baby. We're not supposed to talk about that, but that's that's why we did that. And speaking of which, we have to say goodbye to someone this week. Don Wells.
Paterson, the professional wrestler. It's like he was in the wrestling business for almost 60 years, and everything that had anything to do with wrestling, he didn't have his name McMahon, had Pat Paterson's hands on it. Also, we lost, his name was Brodie Lee, but he was in the WWE. He was Luke Harper. 41 years old, this guy was. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's like, and you can say what you want about professional wrestling, but here is what happened when they did the tribute show for Brodie Lee. Mm-hmm. Not only did they, of course, do tribute and do tributes throughout the show, but they came out and the boss, Tony Khan of AEW, came out, and not only they took the professional wrestling belt that they just opened up, they retired it and gave it to Brodie Lee's kid. So he will be the champion for the rest of his life. And they offered him and made sure that he has got somewhere to go when he gets older, and he will have either an education or he will have a wrestling career. Ditto. That is done. And I'm telling you that, man, that's what it's supposed to be about, Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and 41's kind of a young time to check out.
Young. Again, of course, he looked like he was in his 60s, but again, and they haven't said. It sounds like it might be multiple sclerosis, or again, one of those things that affects the lungs, but not that C thing word.
No, it's not. They and it was unrelated. They said they think it was just it was something to do with his lung issue, and that was about as far as they want to go ahead with. But yeah, 41's pretty early. And like I said, we also lost, from Gilligan's Island. Dawn Wells passed away.
Wells, and I tell you what, even as an older, matronly looking lady, she was still very distinguished looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've seen what the hell's her name, Ginger. Man, you talk about somebody who looks like who?
Yeah, she.
You're not the kind. Woo.
Look, plastic surgery is malleable to a point. We'll just say that.
Yeah. But Dawn Wells, yes. Again, like I say, I think every little boy who watched Gilligan's Island had the crush on Dawn Wells because she looked so good in those little booty shorts.
And she was approachable. That was the other deal. And they talk about that. They talk about the fact that like they said, she had the Tom Hanks syndrome. Like Tom Hanks on screen is the Tom Hanks you see when it's a real person. It's like approachable.
It's because there's so few of those.
Yeah, yeah. Who's the guy? Oh shoot, the guy from Fantasy Island. What's his name?
Ricardo Montalban.
Same guy. Very distinguished, very calm, very polite, and when you meet him in person, he's very calm, distinguished, personable.
Here's the downside to that. Do you know that they're rebooting Fantasy Island?
Oh, for crying out loud.
Yes, because there's no original thoughts in Hollywood, so they're going to reboot Fantasy Island. But if you don't have Ricardo Montalban, and if you don't have that Harvey Village, the plane, it's like you don't have Fantasy Island.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
So.
And what was unique?
I thought that once before, so.
What I thought was unique about that program, I mean, we are getting way off topic here. This is great. So is Harvey Village was not treated like a goof character. Yes. No, he was short of stature, but he had the same level of, even though like he worked for him. Yeah. And I thought that was very cool. It was very like, wow, why can't we just be like this, But
here's the problem with that. And the downside to that is that because Hervé Villechaize had been treated that way all his life, it's like he didn't trust the producers of Fantasy Island and thought that they were scheming against him. And that caused problems. And then, of course, he got into the drink and, then
we lost him. So,
yep.
Yeah, what a shame. But, that's the other thing. People, and wait a minute. You didn't do your morning rant yet, did you?
No, I didn't. I came out without one because it's like we have so much to catch up on. There's so much to do because again, when we miss a week, it's like 20 years.
I heard 3 of your kids went through college already. How are they doing?
All right. Well, okay. Listen, now, if you are done with Hervé Villechaize, let me just recap because I asked you how your Christmas went, and it's like, we got off on Fantasy Island.
It was fine. We didn't do the turkey. We did. Peter wanted to do. So we. Okay. So all right. Now, the week. Okay. So the week prior we had ham. So we wanted to have ham. We had ham. But who was it? Not to plug, but Giant. I think it was. Let me think. Yeah, it was Giant. They had standing rib roast for less than what it would cost per pound to pick up hot dogs.
Wow.
I picked up, it wasn't like a 12 ribber. It was like a little 2 or 3 ribber. Oh my gosh. Less than hot dogs. So that's what we had for our Christmas meal. So.
All right. Well, let's see now, since we last got together, of course, I passed a milestone.
Oh my gosh. Did you see the doctor after that? I know a guy had to use a strainer when he went to the bathroom every time to pass a milestone. You know, there was this guy. He had one. It was about the size of a nickel. I don't know how he did it, but he passed that milestone. I think it took him like 2.5 hours, and I think it was like a lot of blood in the Bob there. So tell me about your milestone.
I passed the milestone because I celebrated my 65th birthday.
Starting your 66th year. That's great.
So now here's the way I looked at all this, because of course earlier in the month I started all this stuff like to start applying for Medicare and things like that. So, you know, again, and then it's like, and I was nervous as I was trying to fill out the form online. And you know, again, they ask you for your address, and it's like, and I gave them my physical address instead of my mailing address. And I just knew, man, you know, I'm never going to get anything from Social Security because there's no mailbox at the mailing address or at the physical address.
Right.
So, I guess a couple of days before my birthday, I called Social Security, and I finally got somebody after I pressed 1 and then 1, then 2, 4, 1, 1, 1. Social Security Administration.
Press 9 if you'd like to speak to someone in Swahili.
And I got this young man who I said, look, I was just nervous because I tried to enter in my address, blah, 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 blah. And I believe he may have changed it for me. We'll find out when I get my Medicare card, or if I get my Medicare card. So it's like, now I'm looking at that, and it's like, and how timely, because I think I'm developing a cataract on my right eye.
Ooh.
And well, hey, listen, guess what? You're going to pay for it.
Well, and it's interesting because those are awesome. The new technology they have. Okay, so when my grandmother, oh my gosh,
that's the way the conversation is going to go from now on, because like I said, my grandmother had, and my great grandmother had, and my grandfather.
But that's the deal. You get about 60, 65. And you start developing cataracts, and that was basically it. They just got you bigger and bigger and bigger and thicker glasses, and you know, they just kind of pray that, like, you talk about the 121-inch camera TV projection. You know, we're talking like that's why you see them move their heads up and down and left and right. What are you doing? Reading the paper? I mean, the paper's like 2.5 inches away from you. What do you? I have to get to the page for?
Oh, listen. Yeah. I have a magnifying glass that I have to use when I'm in their studio.
Right,
so
right.
Like, yeah.
All right. So what they do? It's really pretty. Have you seen any of the?
No, I have not, but I've heard.
Oh my gosh,
getting it done, and it's like in your clear and crisp vision and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So essentially, what they're doing is the cataracts are it's your lens. It gets all cloudy and gross and gets, I don't know. They don't even understand why it's happening. Like, for instance, like as you get older, your lens gets harder. So the muscles still work. They never lose their muscularity, but the ability for the lens to compress doesn't happen anymore. And then by pushing it back and forth, right, you start to add and create cataracts. I believe that's what happens. So they're like, anyway, so what they do is, don't get grossed out, they make a small incision along the cornea, and then they go in and they...
All I want to know is, am I going to be asleep for this?
No.
Because soon as I see something approaching my eye... I start to squirm.
Okay, so here's the deal. They will give you probably like a
whole lot.
They'll give you stuff to calm you down, and just because basically, here's the deal. All you see is like an instrument, and you're like, all right, hold on. Okay, that's about it. All right, good. And then all of a sudden it gets white. This whole screen, all of a sudden, it's like all of a sudden, boom, wow, I can see everything. I can see the doctor's face. That's all you know. That's all you know. You just see like it goes dark it goes white, like clear white screen, or maybe like red because you can see the background. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, I can see everything. That's so cool. And they're like, all right, let me put this stitch in. And you're like, that's it? I mean, the whole procedure is like 9 minutes. It's really fast.
And see, again, and I think if I were to go to get it right now, I think that they want like $575 an eye or something. But thanks to me being old now.
That'll be $2,600 for young whippersnapper like you. Yes.
Hey, like I say, it cost me $5.10. There we go.
I think I got that in my sofa.
Hey, yeah, I'm going to enjoy being old. Although, now let me tell you something. And I do have a sad story to tell here, because I I had a friend, and this guy had the most distinctive voice you're gonna find. I mean, he sounded just like Trace Adkins.
Oh, right. I know a guy like that.
And his name was Lonzy, and Lonzy and I were good friends, and it's like, and we used to joke and tease each other. You know how you and I joke about different differences. Well, we would always laugh about that, and so on and so forth. So Lonzy called me almost every other day, and Thursday before Christmas Eve, he called and he said, "Yeah, well, I'm gonna come up there, but I ain't bringing you no damn donuts because it's like last time I brought you donuts, it cost you your leg."
I like this guy.
All right. So, and I said, "Okay, Lonzy, that'll be good." It's like, again, he had been on dialysis all year, and he needed a kidney transplant. But so it's like his birthday. Now, my birthday is the 22nd. And so he called me on the 22nd and said, "Don't you forget my birthday is the 28th." And so I made sure I wrote it on the calendar. And on the 28th, morning of the 28th, when I did birthdays, I did Lonzy's birthday, and I was all just so proud because when I had remembered to do it, blah, blah, blah. I got a message the next morning from a musician friend of mine. He said, "I don't know whether you know it, but Lonzy passed on Christmas Day."
Oh, crap.
Oh, my God. It's like, again, it's like, and I reminded the audience of this because it's like, again, he's one of my birds. So, that, if you have something to say to somebody, I had an epiphany when I lost my leg, Dan, it's like, and it was to make sure that I didn't let things go unsaid.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to hold on to that thought for the last 7 years. But it's like, again, I think I said everything I needed to say to Lonzy. I'm not sure, but I think I did. But it's like, if you got something to say to somebody, say it to them because tomorrow is not promised.
True.
And, again, and as we're getting older and as things are starting to invade, I'll use that term, we've got to be extremely careful. Again, change your attitude, change your behavior. It's like, it's tough because I'm a hugger. I am a hugger and a half. But you know what? It's like this year I've hugged nobody.
Yep.
And that's because, again, I'm looking out for them and I'm looking out for me. So, all right, now that's enough of that.
All right. On that note.
Oh, no, you can't go to a break yet. It's like, because I also have something to tell you, brother.
Go ahead.
All right, first off, how long have we been doing this? Because I was trying to think when I was doing my promo online. Again, I know we had that interruption, damn surgery to take my leg off had to block us out there for a while. But how many years have we actually done this show?
Are you talking like from the beginning? From the beginning
of time. Yes.
Oh, let's see. Let's see if this dates any of them. This is old 18 part 1. See, that's got the old date. This is the most recent date. So I was gonna put it at about. Oh, you know what I can find out? Hold on, I can find out.
While you're doing that, I'll tell you that.
Go ahead.
Some of the stuff that I found out because I'm going to do a very special close today. I'm not going to talk about how we got to be the fattest people in the world, but I am going to talk about the grossest, the nastiest holiday meals that people just insist on shoveling down your face. So that's what you got to look forward to. Oh, Burger King. They're relaunching dollar menus. Yes, sir.
Oh, my gosh.
Burger King is launching a dollar menu to help Americans who are struggling financially as part of the pandemic to become fat and unhealthy, including bacon cheeseburgers, chicken junior sandwiches, fries, and soft drinks for $1 each. The dollar menu launches on. Oh, it's already launched. It started before the New Year's, 28th.
Now, I can't find the old. Remember MixLR where you used to have the stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would have to do some research, but I'm gonna say at least 7 years.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking that 7 to 8 years thing. I thought it was somewhere in there, but I just couldn't put my finger on it because, like I say, stupid interruption for surgery. How dare they interrupt our program? So
I know. What up with that?
Again, I'm telling you that's I'm still pissed off at that.
Bastards.
All right. So anyway, let's see. What else have I? Okay. I've heard some of the dumbest things people who get in line and somebody cuts in front of them, or they don't get the stuff that they want.
Mhm.
But I tell you what, it is dangerous when you get shot over dipping sauce. St. Louis, Missouri Wendy employee was recently shot after he told the customer he couldn't have extra dipping sauce.
Oh my God.
The customer got enraged and fired shots into the store.
What?
And the employee was hit in the back. I mean, for dipping sauce, ladies and gentlemen, dipping sauce.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Don't tell me that we are not crazy. We are insane. And I'll tell you, 2021 has got, we have got to do something. We have got to sedate some people before we let them go out in the street. That's all there is to it, you know. I'm telling you, look, somebody said to me a while ago, man, why do you imbibe in cannabis? I said, well, it keeps me from killing people.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it keeps me relaxed. It helps me endure stupidity. And as a result, I don't kill people. I wouldn't, you know, it's like if I didn't, I really could. I could see me walking into this building and walking into the boss's office and not even saying anything, just reaching across his desk and just slapping all the taste out of his mouth.
Oh my gosh. So pot makes you stable.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you. Listen, there a lot of people need to thank their lives to good cannabis.
Oh my God. All right. So I did a little research. The earliest date I can find in my old records is 2013. And that I did. It's a little bit before that because that's when I did the one of the outros.
Oh well, that's 7 years.
March,
yeah, okay.
Yeah, March 2013. Actually, so it's coming up on 8 years. Yeah, 8 years. Wow.
Yeah, we've been wasting a lot of time here.
And we're so glad you can join us. With that in mind,
if my mom were alive, she'd say, "Boy, why are you wasting your time?"
You could be a church.
Sorry to interrupt, but we need to take a small break. We'll be right back after this.
Today in history, January 3rd, 1496. Leonardo da Vinci unsuccessfully tests a flying machine. Crazy scientist, you can't fly. 1823. Stephen Austin receives a grant from the land in Texas from the government of Mexico. Then he loses his legs, an arm, and eye, and then he becomes a $6 million man. 1925. Benito Mussolini announces he's taking dictatorial powers over Italy. Yeah, I'm thinking this is not going to go so well. 1938. The March of Dimes is established by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and then they put his face on the dime. I'm seeing a little conflict of interest here. 1962. Pope John the 23rd excommunicates Fidel Castro. Wait a minute, you mean he's Catholic? 1977. Apple Computers is incorporated. Not sure why that's important. And finally, 1996. The Motorola StarTAC is the first flip phone and one of the first mobile phones to gain widespread consumer adoption goes on sale today. Wow, it's been that long? Maybe I ought to upgrade. I'm Dan Mason, and that's January 3rd.
Andy Rooney shares his thoughts for the new year.
Well, here we are again. It's the new year. And we are all here again, looking at the calendar, saying to ourselves, this is going to be the year. I don't know why we do this each year. Could be we fall into a rut, or maybe we're in a rut and we need to get out of the rut. And that's what the new year's all about. I find it interesting that just 3-4 months earlier, we're advertising all these food products. Ham's on sale, turkey's on sale. Don't forget the dressing. It starts way before Halloween. Right after July, packages of Halloween-symboled candies are everywhere to be seen. Now, I personally pick up the Halloween candy on November 1st. It's cheaper. And then I pop it in my freezer and wait for next year, period. With a little bit of willpower, it'll actually make it till October 31st of next year. But to be sure, 1st of August, you'll see tons and tons of Halloween candy sitting on your store shelves. What are you going to do with the Halloween candy for 3 months? Well, you're going to eat it, of course. And that's what they're hoping. You'll eat that candy, you'll buy that roast, you'll cook that food, and here we are, the first of the new year. It isn't bad enough we're all at home, ordering junk food and having it delivered to our homes. Some of us are even day drinking. Not that I would besmudge anyone from doing that. It was a rough year for everyone. No, I think what I really hate is on January 1st, the commercials. Lose weight, exercise, do this, do that. Get a lifetime membership to this gym for only $19.95 a month. Really, how long do you think I'm going to live? Lose 27 pounds with us. Get this amazing elliptical for only 27 easy payments of $57.95. Sounds like a lot of money. Now, I'm not a very tall man, but I clock in about 160. Been 160 for years. Well, a couple years. I'm going to be 160 long after those commercials are gone, and I may pick up a pound or two, or I may lose a pound or two. But I will say this, I'm getting sick and tired of being shamed into losing weight you just talked me into putting on. So back off. If you really want to do something for your health, and you really want to keep things going, my recommendation is just keep breathing.
That was Andy Rooney. We'll see you next week.
I always wanted you to do just what you wanted to, so we could get along. I loved you so, I let you do me wrong. It wasn't who you went with, dear, nor how much you hurt me before. It was the last straw that broke my heart, and I can't stand no more. I love you so, I let you go and have your fun with someone else you knew. I knew I'd never mean a thing to you. Well, I can see that you are falling more in love with him every day. So that's the last straw, I'm leaving you and going far away. Your heart would change and you would fall for me. But it's too late and that can't ever be. Goodbye, good luck, don't be like me. Don't let your heart jump off its track. 'Cause it's the last straw that always breaks the poor old camel's back.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Well, now we gotta go back to these two weirdos. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Katie Slade.
I'm Dan Mason.
And this is the Slade Mayson Show.
Okay, so
Coming in at number 5 this week. There's a real turner there.
yeah, and crashing quickly. Okay, so that was Gene Autry with The Last Straw.
I knew it was Autry, man.
Now, Usually I'll just jump right in and tell why we played a particular song because it's National Bleh Day. So I'm going to let you guess why, what national day is it today? Without looking up.
It's National Autry Day.
Nope. I'll give you one more try.
Okay, wait a minute.
Without looking on Google, without cheating.
I'm going through the words. National Breakup Day.
It is National Drinking Straw Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the National Association, Gene Autry.
All right. Marvin C. Stone back in 1888 invented the paper drinking straw. But it was believed that
that didn't do much because it started to wilt after it would sit in the milk a while.
That's right. Now, it is believed that the Sumerians used the first drinking straws to drink beer because they would use gold tubes inlaid with precious blue stones. And the reason being, as you ferment beer, the dead yeast and its poop drop to the bottom of the vessel, and you don't want to drink that up. So if you had a straw, you just slowly slurp off the layers as you go down. That makes a lot of sense.
It's a lot longer to get drunk that way.
No, actually, if you drink out of a straw beer, it just seems to go to your head a lot faster. So today is National Drinking Straw Day. So Gene Autry just wanted to let you know that was the last straw. It wasn't the last straw. You guys can go get your own straws. Get a recyclable one. Get a stainless steel one. If you're going to use plastic.
Hey, I have a stainless steel one. It's like I use it for all kinds of good stuff.
Oh my gosh. This section of the Slade Mayson Show is brought to you by Icy Something Icy Treats. My buddy Sheila Keenan at 804-617-8827 would love to chat with you to find out more about your little venture. And what she would then do is show up with her truck with her husband, Al, and they would cater your birthday party, your corporate event, fundraiser. And what it's all about is in the truck, she's got these two beautiful Italian ice shavers, and it creates this beautiful snow of soft, icy, fluffy yumminess. And then she puts on top of that different flavorings that she gets. My favorite again is the pina colada, but you can have anything. You can have wild cherry, you can have strawberry. There's lots of different flavors, and the kids love them because they can put the gummy bears on top and they freeze up solid and they crunch, crunch, crunch. And kids are weird that way. But anyway, give her a call at 804-617-8827. That's 804-617-8827. 804-617-8827. 804-617-8827. Do you have a pen handy? You got a pen handy? You got a pen?
Oh, wait a minute. Let me get my pen.
Go get your pen.
Okay.
All right. Is it a blue pen or is it a black pen?
It's a black pen. What do you think?
Okay. All right. This number down.
What?
804-617-8827. 804-617-8827. You can also check them out at
www.8827. You see why I can date much.
Oh my gosh. www.icsomethingIcy.com, which is ICEYSOMETHIN. Leave the G off for goodness sakes. And then ICEY.com. Available on Instagram, Facebook, all over the net. Give her a call, 804-617-8827. Tell them that JD and Dan sent you. She might hang up on you. Just tell her you heard about us on a podcast. But don't tell her which one. Oh, my gosh. Give her a call, 804-617-8827, 804-617-8827. I see something, I see treats. Great for you and your family. All right.
You took up all kinds of memories in the last segment. It's like, I remember I had a Motorola StarTAC.
Oh, you're talking about the Today in History. There was a lot of stuff in there. Oh, my gosh.
I had a Motorola StarTAC, and it's like, but you know, that was probably the most reliable phone that I've had.
It was. Yeah, I mean, it can't
be hacked. So.
Oh man, you could charge that up thing, and it would run for 4 hours.
All right, listen, Dan. We had a conversation before we started, and it's like, every year, I guess the last big celebrity that we lost was Don Wells before the end of the year, but it was probably Charley Pride before that. And it was sad to hear that Charley Pride had finally passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So that led me to believe with my sick individualistic self, gee, it's time to take some bets. Who's leaving in 2021? All right, I have one of two picks. And I'm not sure either one of them are going to, because it's like I've been betting on these guys for years.
Okay.
This has got to be the year that Mick Jagger and Keith Richards finally bite the big one. He just celebrated his 78th birthday. So, talk about the poster child for why you should do drugs.
Well, he's had blood replaced and body parts replaced. And I don't know how much is Keith Richards and how much is everybody else.
Well, it's like, but it's also showing that obviously the amount of drugs that he's taking is actually preserving him, because this guy is just death walking. Did you ever good look at his face?
It's like a leather bag on top of a leather bag on top of a leather bag.
An older leather bag. It's like, and Mick Jagger has never been anybody's pretty baby. So it's like, again, it just seems like his bottom lip gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so my bet for 2021, Mick Jagger or Keith Richards.
See, and I was going to go with, I went the other end of the spectrum. I was going to put Ed Asner because I thought he was on the list anyway. I think he had.
I thought he was dead already.
I thought he was going Mr. Grant.
Ed Asner. Now that's an interesting choice. That is an interesting choice.
The gentleman is 91 years old. He is the voice. There was a Pixar movie called Up, and he played the uppity, crotchety husband. Former wife passed away, and he had to deal with this little scout kid. Anyway, so Ed, he's doing a lot of voice work because.
Well, yeah, because it's like he can't walk anymore. It's like he's 91 years old. It's
91 years old.
He's here to sit in the studio and just blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I've been making sure I listen to my voice, because it's like I'm getting older, and I don't want to get old. I don't want to get old man voice.
Yes, I know. It's like,
it still sounds like Harry Belafonte.
Wait, here we go. I'm Dan Mason.
I'm J.D. Slade.
Hey, this is the Slade Mason show. JD, you take over for a couple of seconds. I'm gonna go throw up in a bucket.
I listen in my headset to make sure, and it's like when I record things, it's like so that I don't hear myself going into oh.
Well, it's funny because when I'm doing my normal job, I will manipulate my voice to match the person who's calling. So if it's someone who's in their 60s and 70s, I'll kind of slow it down and kind of talk. But if someone's in their 40s or 50s or something like that, I'll kind of step up the voice a little bit like this, right? And so it's always funny because they'll always say, well, you're about my age.
Yeah, well,
I'm like,
again,
I got some news for you.
Tell people all the time when it's like, because I have been blessed in that I don't know what 65 looks like. So when someone says, you don't look 65, well, how old do I look?
71.
But yeah, I do. I listen just to make sure, because Paul Harvey stayed online too long.
Yeah,
he did. He got to be the America.
You know what today is. Yeah, that wavery voice, and that is not the direction I'm going to go.
When I start hearing that, man, it's like that's when my voice stops being used. I'm telling you.
I'll go on long-term disability.
So Paul Harvey, God love him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to tell you.
Why?
So the time we got together, I mentioned that Larry King had gotten hit with a $31,000 a month alimony payment from his last wife.
Yes.
Well, now it's like I find out that Larry's in the hospital.
Yes.
He's
COVID.
suffering from corona. Yeah. It's like, again, I mean, he's what, 87, 88 years old?
87 years old. And it was funny you mentioned Larry King. Here he is. He shows up on our stories. Maybe he should be he and Ed Asner. Anyway, Larry King.
You're on the air.
Larry King looks like he's been put together with leftover parts from Keith Richards.
I mean, but there again, there's two different guys who are pretty similar in generation. Larry King and Keith Richards.
Oh my gosh. And our bet's on one of those two versus Ed Asner. So, Larry King, it was interesting. He wants to be cryovac when he dies. He wants his
not another one, man.
Yeah, he wants his head chopped off and then stuck in like a system that
Ted Williams did that. Or
Yep,
it's like,
that's right.
I'm sorry. Yeah. How do you know? How do you know that the power hasn't gone out once or twice? Really?
Well, they got that little pink thing, and if it goes from temperature, it turns red.
I mean, Ted Williams has been in the cryovac unit almost 15 years or something. I mean, Come on, listen, we don't have that much reliable electric service.
No, we
you can't
don't.
tell me that once or twice that thing hasn't popped off.
The generator's gone off. Everybody got some more diesel?
He's gonna have like mold on his cheek.
Just scrape it off.
I'm sorry.
So
I mean, even if they find a way to restore life function to the head, what good is that going to do?
It's not going to do any good. And I was reading a whole long article about it last night. See, you touch on things I know, which is scary. But here's the dealio, guys. If you've ever, all right, let's try this. You take a little cup of water, 1 cup, measured it, exactly 1 cup, and you freeze it, and it goes up to like 1.25 cups. That's because water expands, it crystallizes, it sends out little tendrils. What the Ferengi do you think is going to happen inside your brain? Okay? Little tendrils are going to go, and all those beautiful little neurons that you collected pictures and memories of your loved ones turns into Jell-O. Just a homogeneous Jell-O. And that's exactly what they say. The best they've ever done was they cryovac'd a dog's brain for 18 hours and then brought it back.
So, you see, I mean, yeah, like I said.
But it took a boatload.
Somewhere. He's going, now I'll get Mr. Felix.
Oh gosh, it's just not going to happen. The closest we can come to, and the creators of PayPal are also planning on cryovacing their heads. But anyway, here's the dealio. Here's the deal. The best option we have is where Elon Musk wants to basically have neural passageways, connections, so that you can download your brain at any time. All right. So you could have a download version of your memories into like a major hard drive. And then if you go south, you have a stroke or something like that, you can re-upload your memories back from, of course, that time. Right. But now here's the other problem. What is happening in your hard drive? Is that running a program thinking you're alive?
Now, hold on a second, Dan.
Now we've dipped into some really serious.
I'm not the brightest bulb in the lamp, but, it tells me that I am told that the heart has a whole lot to do with what's going on with the rest of your body functions. And if you cut off the head, you're not going to have the heart there doing much of nothing.
That's correct. So, and that's the other thing they were talking about. There's oxygen starvation that takes place when the head is separated from the body, obviously. So immediately it's like not to get gross, but if you guillotine somebody, they're not immediately dead. They got like 8 or 9 seconds of quote unquote consciousness.
It's flopping.
And then it's over. Then looking inside the basket and it's all
it's not blinking or anything else. You know, it's like, I mean, like I said, I'm sorry, but there again, cultural differences, because you don't see anybody on my side of the fence talking about, cut my head off and freeze it.
Cut your head off before you're gone.
You know, I mean, like you said, all I can see is that, you know, again, here's this box of ice cream that's been sitting in the freezer for 20 years.
Mm-hmm. And you don't want that.
It's going to be all crystals and little crystals all over. I'm sorry. I
tastes like burnt butter. You know, it's not good.
I think about when I think about preserving life, because like I say, when I was reading the comic books, hey, all you had to do was step into this chamber, and it's like, and whenever you needed to come out, they brought you out. But you know, again, you only got a head here.
Yeah, it's a huge
bill of goods, man.
It's a huge undertaking. It's just not something we can kind of like, there you go, you're frozen. And
just my head on, put in this jar. And,
we'll bring you back 6 years from now. We figure out what this whole asthma thing is all about. Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, no, it's not happening. It's not happening. So it's a stunt. It's Larry King's last stunt.
I mean, like I say, I just, yeah. And even if, let's just, at the absolute best case scenario, you're successful and you can regenerate that head and you can get some life into that head. Mm-hmm. Can you imagine what the first thing is going to say? Where the hell's the rest of my body? What am I going to do with this?
Oh my gosh. Well, who's the guy? Now you've really hold on. Now I got to look something up real quick because I have to share something with you. You brought that up. You brought that up. Hold on.
We'll be talking about soon. All this time, I really hated pearl onions.
What has that got to do with anything? All right, hold on. Okay, so let's see. Popular references, preservation, notable people. Okay, so he wants his head. Now he wants his head frozen. Like I said, Ted Williams, John Henry Williams, engineer Dr. L. Stephen Coles, Phil Solon, and software engineer Hal Finley have all had their heads frozen. Larry King is scheduled. Again, the co-founders of PayPal, Luke Nozick, I think it's pronounced, and Peter Thiel, and transhumanistic Nick Bostrom and Anders Sandersberg. Now, believe it or not, also, I think I could say this without getting in trouble, Jeffrey Epstein, yes, disgraced financier, Jeffrey Epstein wanted to have his head and his penis frozen so that he could, quote unquote, seed the human race with his DNA when he comes back out of it. Oh God, I can't make this stuff up.
Now, Dan, you know, I mean, I consider us both to be relatively rational human beings, even though we are off bent. You know, again, there's no question about that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, just listen to these idiots. I mean, listen, first off, let's just say, best case scenario, you can, like I say, you can put some electricity in there and make him blink his eyes. Mm-hmm. What is he going to be? He's going to be an exhibit, a freak. It's like he's never going to be outside the walls of that scientific observatory because they're going to have 10,000 questions for him and he's never going to be able to answer them all.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
You know,
so,
again, like a bill of goods, somebody sold somebody, and I'll tell you, sure had some white noise to that.
Well, you mentioned Mick Jagger, and it's very reminiscent of a movie he did called Jack Flash or Jumpin' Black.
No, not Jumpin' Jack Flash. He was
movie. Hold on. Now I got to look it up again. I think we talked about this a while back. Darn it. You know, Freddie, this is stuff you're supposed to be pulling up for me. For crying out loud. Hold on. Go backwards. Oh, I just passed it. Hold on. Free Jack. That was the premise in Free Jack. Guy was like frozen in time, or he got his brain downloaded or something like that, and then.
Like I said, they've done this in science fiction for years, and it never works out. So why do they think it's going to work now?
Right, and they
all I can see is this gelatinous blob coming out of the head chamber. You know?
Well, what they were supposed to do was with Free Jack, it was what's his name? Emilio Estevez was supposed to play the part of the receptacle. Anthony Hopkins was the guy who was going to be uploaded. Okay. And Mick Jagger's job was to go get Emilio Estevez because it's a really weird movie. But basically, he dies. They see it in the future. They grab his body like a half a nanosecond before he dies, scrub his brain, get it ready for Anthony Hopkins. But he figured a way out of it.
So, again, like I say, this is another failed experiment put together.
There you go.
Another one was put together by cultural differences.
There you go.
Because you don't see anybody else. You don't see Samuel L. Jackson saying, "Yeah, cut my head off."
or Emilio Estevez. Oh, I'm gonna die. Yeah. All right. Well, just take my brain anyway. So yeah, it was. Rotten Tomatoes gives it.
That is two cinematic horror stories that Mick Jagger's been involved in.
Yeah.
Free Jack and that video with David Bowie. That is the worst.
Well,
I can't see that.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it an 18.
Even if I like the song, I can't like the song because I saw the video, and I see the video every time I hear the song. So
sorry, it's great.
All right.
Wow, did we go on a tangent? Where were we? We didn't talk about anything I want to talk about.
It's time for me to wrap this up to talk about food because it's like I'm going to talk about the worst side dishes. You know, I'm sorry, Grandma.
Well, let me.
Nostalgia and guilt usually keep it on the menu for generations.
All right, then let me get my little music thing here with Weird Al going, and there, you have the floor.
What are the top grossest holiday side dishes? How about talking about stinky oyster casserole? I think it's only appropriate that I lead off with this one. Plus, a disdain for oyster casserole is what sparked the idea for this whole idea anyhow.
Gross.
Oyster casseroles. I mean, who serves oysters at Thanksgiving?
Hey.
What does that have to do with anything?
Cultural differences.
I totally agree. It's like it's also oyster dressing and oyster stuffing, and it's sort of bizarre cross between breaded stuffing and chopped oyster chunks. Yeah, chunks. Ew.
I need to spew.
All right, here we go. How about cream pearl onion?
Mmm.
Boy, I tell you, there's someone I know who makes this dish every year, and no one likes it. My grandma always made it before she died. Now I have to, this woman said, but no one will touch it. Yeah, doesn't that tell you something? Let's find something else. Oh, here we go. Cranberry sauce, fresh from the can.
Yeah, don't do that anymore. I do the real stuff.
Okay, it's going to be controversial, but hear me out. Some people were strongly on Team Cranberry, like Digital Enterprise editor Megan Wesley. I mean, but others, not so much. Straight out of the can, crudely sliced up, put on a plate. Just no. You don't. Yeah, that's Dan Mason right there. Okay,
Used to do that many years ago.
Okay, let's see here. Here we go. How about fresh cranberry relish?
Mmm.
Okay, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, yeah, I'm on board with that one, baby.
I want anything that. All right. I've never been to a Thanksgiving that served salad, but I can certainly see why any director or partner development dubbed it one of the most worst side dishes ever. No one freaking wants salad on Thanksgiving.
Heck no.
I would argue that no one really wants salad ever, but we'll stick with the idea of the holidays for now.
Well, maybe what about the vegans? Maybe the vegans want to have a salad.
How about mashed cauliflower?
Yeah, that's gross. I had it.
Heart doesn't tail. I'll tell you. The woman tells the story that my mom was on the Atkins diet for a few years and would bring this to Thanksgiving every year, claiming that you couldn't even tell the difference. The first year she bought it, she didn't even label it.
It just tastes like pre-chewed cauliflower in a dish.
All right, here's one that's served on a lot of tables: green bean casserole.
Yeah,
and it is one of my favorite side dishes. So I'm kind of supporting it, but in transportation and development, it's like, look, not every compelling mincemeat pie. There's another one.
Yeah, baby. Now,
not really at all.
Now we're talking Jersey food.
Yeah, mincemeat pie. Yeah, or Jell-O salad.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's like, what is that one they put the whipped cream in? It's like a Jell-O.
Oh, ambrosia.
Like, yeah, that's really
with
gross.
Marshmallows and bits of like coconut. Hey, that was disgusting. Let's throw some mandarin oranges in there too.
All right, listen. How about tomato aspic?
Yeah.
Yeah, every single celebration, there's someone who brings tomato aspic.
Anytime you have a dish with the word aspic in it.
I have no idea how or why anyone would think to combine tomato juice and lemon Jell-O mix and create a looming, murky, blood-colored mold, but that's what happens, and it's all tomato aspic. And there you go, the worst dishes to be put on the table on holidays.
Yeah, it's great. It's delicious. Yeah, tuna aspic, salmon aspic. I mean, it's bad enough you gotta, but you missed one that was very traditional for New Year's for us growing up, and that was pickled herring.
I love pickled herring.
See?
I love pickled herring. Yes, sir.
See?
But it doesn't. But I binge on it. Is what it is.
Yeah, that's the problem with me. I eat too much of it, and then the next thing you know, I'm like, oh, my stomach hurts.
No, I'm done for years.
So is it with do you do the cream or you do the plain?
Cream.
Yeah, with the onions and
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, what do you,
dude?
What do I?
The music. Really, Freddie? Wow. We sucked up an hour. We had so much more to talk about. I didn't even talk about.
Never get back up.
Think of us as an alternate to your religious experiences, okay?
That's exactly right. Instead of watching Oral Roberts, listen to the Slade Mayson Show. We'll give you better hints, I'll tell you.
Don't forget to tell your friends, your neighbors, cops, people you see in the street, okay? And as always, we're brought to you by Larry King Live.
Don't monkey with that, because man, next week we could come here and he could be gone.
Oh, okay. So I won't make any fun of him. Or Ed Asner will be gone.
Yeah, like I say, I like, again, let's see. We talked about Star Trek and we talked about who's leaving this year. Such an entertaining show.
Oh my gosh! Hey, everybody! Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
Oh yeah!
Gonna be a new year. Gonna happen every year.
Oh yeah!
Gonna have a new year every year. Gonna be every year. Gonna have a new year.
New year!
Sing it, JD.
Oh, you gotta have it.
Gonna have a new year.
And a rookie new year. Brad, oh yeah.
We're done.
Where did that show come from? Huh?
Freddie, just hit the other button. This one. Hit.
Oh, are we
that
still recording?
Hey, Freddie, hit that one. All right, team, you know the drill. So if you're enjoying the Slade Mayson Show and you want to see more episodes, make sure you hit the subscribe button down yonder and hit the bell. You got to do both, or something bad will happen. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Bye.